Your eyes don't deceive you. I've not pressed the wrong button by mistake. That is the Ash Down Under intro, because the last time we used that, we were winning games and we binned it off for Bournemouth and lost.
Yep.
So I'm a superstitious man. I'm bringing down the intro for the Australia pre-season tour. If we win against Everton, that intro will stay, let me tell you. Ash, how are you, mate? You okay? Is that a cup of tea in this weather?
Cup of tea, I know. Shocking. Awful. But I prefer the French intro, mate. That's our last one as well. But yeah.
Yeah, I prefer the French one, but I can't find it.
It's a nice little omen for us, and we get back to winning ways tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully so. You've just been to the press conference with Steven Gerrard today, this afternoon. We'll only be here for the next 20 minutes or so, the same format as we did last week, press injury update, etc. But just first of all, before we get into that, how are you feeling about the game and after what we saw last weekend against Bournemouth?
Gerrard's put me at ease, to be honest, Dan. He really has. Gerrard, he has. Yeah, he's no panic stations, no like glaring comments or anything like that. As we were honed on them Tyrone Ming stuff last week, it was all cool, calm, relaxed. Okay, we need a result tomorrow. Yeah, we get that, and it's been a bit of a long week. What he said earlier today, but Gerrard's calm. He's fine, and he wants the supporters to bring the noise tomorrow and get back to winning ways. And if we win tomorrow, I think Bournemouth's forgotten about. It's pretty much straight away. So it was all very calm at Bodymore. No snidey comments or anything like that, or digging players out. It's all focused on tomorrow and just getting the basics right again, and big emphasis on set pieces this week in training. As we know, Villa have been falling short in that department defensively over the last few weeks, even in Rennes as well. So yeah, all very calm at Bodymore, considering what's been a bit of a not traumatic week. It's been a bit of a how would you describe the week, Dan?
I don't know, a little bit disheartening maybe after all the pre-season optimism. And we spoke about this on Saturday or Monday or whenever it was, and people were going, "Oh, why are you optimistic ahead of the season? Villa are never going to gate cross the top six, blah, blah, blah." It's like, whatever you think of what the season might pan out to be, if you can't get excited ahead of a new Premier League season, then maybe football isn't for you. It's optimism, isn't it? Everyone starts with 0 points as reason to be excited. So to be 1-0 down after 2 minutes against a relegation candidate and ultimately go on to lose the game, and it be a rubbish performance as well. All the stuff with the post-match, and that was all we kind of focused on for the last week. So it does feel like we kind of dragged our heels the way through the week and kind of waiting for Everton. So I don't really like the 12:30 kickoffs, but I am kind of happy to get it done and out of the way. Let's start our weekend right, hopefully.
There you go.
Go there, midday tomorrow, have a burger or whatever, and watch Villa win. That should be a nice Saturday for everyone. Good weather as well. Yeah. So they've done the talking now, haven't they? So they've got to kind of put their words into action on the pitch and go and get that result.
Yeah, you see McGinn's take today as well. It's quite straight talking from McGinn as well, the captain. He said this squad of players, it's time to deliver now. So I think the proof's in the pudding. We'll see tomorrow. We need a big reaction, Dan, from everyone, really. I don't think anyone could say they had a good game last week. So big reaction needed. All eyes on that team sheet at 11:30 tomorrow. What's going to happen there? I won't spoil you think what you've got planned there. Don't worry, I won't go into team just yet. But yeah, need a big reaction and need something for the crowd to feed off as well. Expectant crowd tomorrow. Sell out. Glorious day again in the sunshine. First 10, 15 minutes, give us something. Give us a goal.
An early goal would really settle any potential nerves there, I think. I said last Friday I'd do some little graphics because we were going to do these in segments for the show. So let's play the first one, the presser. We touched on it a little bit already. You said the mood was pretty calm over there. This game is massively dominated by Gerrard versus Lampard, though, isn't it? The midfield battle. Can they play together for England? Now they're in the dugout against each other, all that kind of stuff. The cliches are out. It's the most played fixture in English football. Two big clubs not doing so well in recent times. Blah 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 blah. I'm a little bit kind of whatever about that. I want to go and see us win. I don't care about Lampard. I don't care about it being the most played fixture. I want to go and see Villa be better than they were last week.
Yeah, the national boys in the radio stations are all jumping on the Gerrard Lampard narrative. It dominated the press conference today, to be honest. Big large segments of the Gerrard Lampard stuff, and when Gerrard first met Lampard for the England schoolboy days, and when Lampard was at West Ham. But it's by the by now. They're both managers now, and Gerrard, even with it being Everton for him tomorrow, makes no difference. He wants to get 3 points for Aston Villa. So big narrative around this one, as you say, but it's business as usual for the pair. I suspect a big game for both clubs, if you're asking me as well. So that was the presser today. Other bits from that. Press food was very good today, Dan. Massive burger. Big Daddy burgers. So,
Wow.
yeah, really nice. A few of us in short. I wore shorts to the press conference for the first time ever today as well. I did get a telling off from Stephen, which was good. I think he knew it's quite hot out there. So that was good from the press conference as well. What else came up? Bits and bobs, transfers, still looking, got an eye on the market. Outgoings will happen first. We've seen Kane Kessler-Hayden just joined Huddersfield on loan. Good loan for him.
Talk about that in a bit.
Yeah, we'll see that in a bit. Keeping an eye on the market. What else came up? Like you say, it's very Lampard, Gerrard heavy, to be honest. Tyrone Mings, we've got the team news coming up as well. And yeah, all eyes on tomorrow and bouncing back in style.
Let's talk about injuries then, because that kind of let me get you out of the hole, because that was the main discussion really, that everyone's basically fit is the injury update. A little bit of one almost for fantasy Premier League players here. A little update for social media this year. I said this year I was going to pay a bit more attention to it. I didn't quite realise how much attention people put on like opposition pressures and stuff. There's people in our notifications today like begging for details on whether Leon Bailey will play, what's happening with Coutinho, because they want to get their fantasy Premier League teams right. So you've been the one that's there. They've said there's pretty much a clean bill of health for everybody besides Courtney Hawes. So we'll come on to team lineups and stuff in a bit, but the injury news from the presser.
Yeah, Tyrone Mings had a scan on his groin adductor, to use the medical term, his groin on Monday. So he didn't train after the Bournemouth game. So last week was a bit of a surprise to see him on the bench, to be honest, because he was declared fit last week, wasn't he? But he had to have a scan on the Monday, missed Tuesday, missed Wednesday. So Mings has only trained twice this week, Dan. Thursday, yesterday, and today. So he's had 2 full sessions, Mings. A couple of the colleagues at the press conference think Mings will start tomorrow. I don't know what you reckon regards that. The fact he's had 2 training sessions, that's all, and all the fallout and stuff. I can't see him coming straight in, but we'll see. Would be a big bold call from Gerrard to throw Mings straight in after last week's call and decision. So, Tyrone Mings had a scan. He's trained twice this week. Emi Buendia's fine now. He had a bit of an issue, didn't he, going into last week's fixture at Bournemouth. He's had a full week of training, Emi Buendia. And the only absentee is Courtney Hawes, that's still out with a knee injury. So clean bill of health, lots of options for Gerrard, which is good. And we'll see what he does with the lineup and the system.
We'll talk about Tyrone Mings in our predicted 11 section a little bit later. But there's no there was any further questions from anybody about the Mings stuff from last weekend. Because if, again, like we said earlier, this time last week we were talking about, Villa posting that graphic saying it, basically everyone's fit and ready to go. And then at some point between that and Saturday, Tyrone Mings picks up a niggle and then has a scan on Monday. So has anyone kind of digged any further in on Mings' status since?
No, not really. No one did enough digging, really. Been briefed. There's no such fallout or anything like that. Gerrard's words last week were taken out of context in relation to Mings' injury. Is he fit? Is he not? I think that was the issue between the manager and player. Are you fit? Are you not? And they're both unsure in that sense. So no one really pressed Gerrard too much on it today. Perhaps tomorrow, if Mings comes back in or he's frozen out again, we'll see on that one. But yeah, it's as you were. Those that weren't involved last week, your Tyrones, Ollie Watkins, Emi Buendias, Douglas Luiz's, they've all had a really good week of training, according to Gerrard. So he referenced those names I've just said then and there. So everyone's in contention for tomorrow, fighting for shirts, and it'd be amazing to see how many changes he'll make.
My missus has just come back shouting me. I don't know what she wants. I've just had to say I'm on a Facebook Live, so hopefully it's nothing too serious. Commitment to the cause, everybody. Yeah. We've got a sponsor. I'm going to flash them up on screen. NordVPN. They're sponsoring the next couple of podcasts. I asked them to send us a script, and they said, we don't do scripts at NordVPN. We want our users to, use the product and then talk about it. I only found out about this morning, so I haven't used it. So I can't sit here and go, yeah, use it. It's great because I've got no personal experience. But we do use VPNs at work. VPN is to keep privacy, keeps all your details separate. If you're on public Wi-Fi and things like that. You can also kind of change your location so that, if you're on Twitter and you get that pesky message pop up saying this video clip is not available in your area, you can move your location to another part of the world and kind of get around that. You've also got access to different things like the US's version of Netflix and Australia's version of Netflix. So when you were in Australia after pre-season, you could have tuned onto the British VPN and watched like BBC iPlayer or whatever from your little bed sit in Australia. Yeah. We do have a code if you want to find it, it's in the description below. It's nordvpn.com/claret and blue. And you will get an exclusive NordVPN deal to get a huge discount off your VPN plan and 4 months free. It's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. So they're our sponsor for this match preview and the next couple of podcasts. Let's go away from match day and back into the bulk of the discussion. Kane Kesler-Hayden out on loan. Keenan Davis linked with Watford. Courtney Hall's linked with Watford as well, I think. Let's talk away from Everton for a little bit and what else is going on in the Aston Villa world at the moment. Start with Kane Kesler.
Kane Kesler, he's gone to Huddersfield. He's in contention for his debut tomorrow. He can go straight in. He was registered in time for Huddersfield. They've got Stoke tomorrow. Good loan for him. Huddersfield have got a good track record. Someone smashing pallets outside or something. What's going on there? But Huddersfield got a good track record. And again, what's going on? They had Emil Smith-Rowe from Arsenal previously, Levi Colwell, who's at Brighton now. So they do look after loanees. Huddersfield, they play them. They have faith in them. They're struggling at the moment, though, Dan. They've lost 2 out of 2, Huddersfield, after last season's heroics getting to the final. So I think Kesler-Hayden will get plenty of game time, maybe a starter there. I think Villa want to see him have one more year in the Championship ahead of next season, having a really good crack at it. For me, I'm not sure what the right-back situation's like at the moment. You got Matty Cash. And then I thought it was Kesler-Hayden jumping his heels. I like Kesler-Hayden. I watched him a lot for the FA Youth Cup side over pre-season. I think he's got it. I think he has. Got bags of pace. And he's developed now as well. So a bit of a surprise. I thought it was a bit of a surprise when that came through, given Freddie Gilbert's situation. He's training with the 21 still, I believe. So I should have pressed out on what's happening with Gilbert and the right-back situation. Didn't manage to do that. We're going to get 2 questions each, you see, so you've got to be careful with them. The right-back spot, you think Ashley Young's there then, wouldn't you? To fill in if it's not Cash?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I actually quite like the statement that Huddersfield said. It's from their head of football operation, who said that young players and clubs can see how their programme and environment has positively impacted the careers of players like Chalobah, Smith-Rowe and Colwill. So to be seen as a trusted destination for top-tier talent to grow and improve is something we should be proud of. I like that. It sounds like there's a good setup at Huddersfield, so we'll see how he gets on. I feel like it's a good move for Kesler-Hayden, but not a great move for Villa. That was my first reaction to it, because if Cash gets injured tomorrow, God forbid, who plays right back? Yeah, now, there might be some recall, option maybe to bring him back if there's an injury or whatever that we don't know about. Which again, that would be fair enough. But for him to go for the season and not even going just till January and then kind of assess it, you've got Gilbert training with the under-21s, like you said, and not featured in pre-season really, so he doesn't seem like an option. So if Cash stays fit for the whole season, he'll play every single game. So it makes sense to loan out Kane.
I don't know that.
I think he will, though. He's like Luca Dean. He will play every game at left back. If there's a backup left back in the squad, they're not going to play. It's a difficult position to rotate, isn't it? Just for the sake of rotation. It's not like a midfielder where you've got kind of 6 or 7 players to go into 3. Or even Cameron Archer will get minutes if we play 1 striker, there's 3 options. That makes sense. It's like changing a goalkeeper, isn't it? It's right back will stay the whole way if they're fit, I think. The problem is if he does get injured, Konsa can do a job at right back, I guess. So can Chambers and so can Ashley Young. But we both grimace on our face while we talk through that because it's not ideal, is it? So, Thurston Kane Kesler-Hayden might also not be the answer if Cash gets injured, but he would be the next logical step if that was to happen. Obviously, if Cash has a terrible couple of months, I'd want him to be out the side anyway. Like, I'm not just saying he's a guaranteed starter if he's fit, but you'd expect him to do okay, play the season last year, have a good season and feature again. It doesn't make that much sense to Villa, I don't think, unless they're going to sign a right back or out of the blue, which that's not going to happen, is it? So it's a good move in terms of him getting minutes and getting out into the Championship and having a good season over there, you'd hope. Hopefully Huddersfield pick up a little bit. But it kind of feels like Villa are left slightly short there.
It does, it does feel that way. I can ask the manager probably tomorrow if there's a recall option there. There was a recall option in the Swindon deal he had previously. And I think if he played well against Man City, and then Gerrard called him back straight away. I want to have a look at you. And then he went out on loan again. So, a bit of a strange one for me. Like you said, good for the player, of course. He can play. And then, I think you're leaving Villa short if Cash picks up an injury. So,
and it's good for Villa long term. I mean, having a player go out and get some development, of course, I'm not saying this is a bad loan move for Villa, but in the short term, if Cash does get injured, if Poland at the World Cup, so if, let's say he goes away to the World Cup and gets a niggle there, and then misses a crucial period in January or something, you'll be thinking, I wish we had Kane Kesler-Hayden around. There's a comment here from Jake saying that Young played about 8 positions last year, but never right back. I mean, yeah, exactly. People saying that Young's back at right back, but he's not played there for us.
No.
Let's move away from that because it is a bit of a contentious thing. I think it's good for the player. On paper, it's good for the club. God forbid a cash injury, and then we'll see what happens if that does happen.
Or suspension,
Keenan Davis is the other one. Again, looks like a medical with Watford. Feels a bit of a shame for Davis, to be honest. I don't think I think for a couple of years you could say he's probably never going to get a chance at Villa properly. Definitely since Watkins has signed.
Yeah.
I thought it was all going to be pointing to a permanent deal with Forest the minute they got promoted. I thought that would be one of the first deals they wrap up. And then they're linked with Emmanuel Dennis from Watford today for 20 million, which is a good signing. So Davis going there to Watford to replace him effectively.
Yep.
Forest don't need him. They've signed about 100 players anyway. But it does feel like he had a good thing going there and had a bit of a connection and found some form. And I want him to have that, hopefully, with Watford, because it's not going to happen at Villa now. Villa have moved beyond his ability. And he's not going to come back next summer and suddenly start playing for us. So he goes with best wishes. It's a season-long loan, isn't it? I think with is his contract up next year or is it the year after?
Year after, so 2024. So he'll come back next season, and then you got 1 year left. I think Villa will cash in anyway. So
cash in and get a bit of money if he does all right with Watford. If they get promoted as well, again, might be a similar scenario that they make that option permanent if they go up and we get 5 or 6 million maybe for a player on the last legs of their contract. But I'd like him to go there and have a good time, score some goals, and find a connection with the club because it's not going to happen at Villa, but there's still time for him to make a decent career for himself somewhere.
Yeah, just hope he stays fit now because obviously he's coming off the back of another hamstring injury. We didn't see him at all in pre-season, did we? He was injured. He went over to the tour, but he did personal work with one of the physios, so he didn't play at all. So he's a bit behind. Would have been good to see him if he was fully fit, coming off the back of the Forest loan, coming back at the back of firing and playing really well and catching games and playing with the Coutinho around him and holding the ball up for us. Would have been good to see over pre-season, but we didn't get that. So yeah, he needs to get himself fit now. Should have an announcement soon, really, with his loan deal to Watford. And yeah, I think it could be the last time we've seen Keenan Davis in the Villa shirt, to be fair. Wish him well. Just hope he stays injury free. And like you say, he had a new lease of life last year at Forest. Forest loved him. The fans loved him. I think Keenan loved it as well. All his social media posts, he got right behind it. And it was a shame they didn't turn that into a permanent deal, but they went elsewhere. And I think Championships is probably his level, really. And I wish him well for a successful season,
Yeah, likewise. The other little bit of news away from MATCHDAY that I wanted to mention quickly was Douglas Luiz. Sounds like a contract might be imminent for him. A 3-year deal has been reported elsewhere. Again, I think we've spoken about this to death for the last probably 12 months, never mind the last couple of months, about whether he should have a contract. I agree. I think a contract was worthwhile. I think there was a player in there, certainly playing a little bit more further forward now in a hopefully better Aston Villa midfield. And if nothing else, it's a good financial decision to lock him down. And then if he does want to move on next year, if Villa don't hit the heights they want to, we'll make more money on him than letting him go for free. So makes sense around if that goes through.
It also makes sense for me as well because I keep asking Gerard about it. He must be sick of it. Dougie contract latest, Stephen.
Every week. You've only got 2 questions a week as well. That's one you can just write off straight away.
Just choose one up. So I'm buzzing as well. So yeah, looking close now. 3-year deal, I believe. So I don't think it's imminent, but maybe into next week we should get some sort of confirmation. But yeah, things moving in the right direction with that one. Retains his value. No uncertainty around him moving elsewhere, like we had with the Carney situation. Yeah, it makes sense for all parties, and we'll see with that one. And yeah, should have an announcement soon, and nice to see it finally tied up. A bit of a saga as well. What's happening? What's not happening? Who's linked with him? But now it would be good for him as well as a player. Can settle down. He'll have 3 years on his deal, and he can kick on again. Hopefully, in that number 8 position, and go score some more goals for us, and nail down that consistency we're all looking for from him.
There's a lot of people asking about transfers. Nothing, is there? I don't really know what to say. I still think we need a number 8 in there. I think what we found out recently is that McGinn and Ramsey are similar. I think they do the same job. Kamara's going to play. McGinn's probably going to play because he's captain. I'd like Ramsey. I'd like to see him push on again, but like we said, he's had a bit of a ropey pre-season, not really hit the heights of last season, and even towards the back end of last season, to be fair. But obviously, still a talent in there. He's still got a lot of mileage in his Villa career to go. But that is similar to McGinn. It's got to be one or the other, and McGinn's captain, so he's going to play, you would assume. The other number 8 for the moment is probably going to be Douglas Luiz, and I think that's fine. But is fine good enough for a top 8, top 7 push? Probably not. So I would like to see us sign one, but whether we actually do or not is another matter. What's left now? 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. There's still time if something becomes available. But we keep saying about players got to leave. Kane Keshaden's the first player to go in how long? There's still maybe Gilbert, El Ghazi, Traore.
Exactly.
I don't know, even a couple of loans as well. So we've got to see that movement before any incomings, I think. So it could be that, we're all talking about Villa getting their business done early. It might be that we are doing some business late as well. Yeah,
Gerard said it's a slow-moving market. He said that last week as well. And today didn't really expand on me asking him and saying it. I think midfielder is the obvious one. He spoke about it himself. He wants to strengthen that area. So that's top of the list. Midfielder, no names in the frame, no real links of late at all. So it's all gone quiet in that respect. I think it has been a bit of a slow-moving market for the players Villa are trying to attract. So, yeah, it's as you were in terms of transfers with more outgoings in the coming weeks rather than incoming. So, yeah, another 19 days, another couple of weeks left to go. And I think we'll get one more in at least.
Yeah. Let's talk about predicted 11s then. Now, we're going to do this in 2 ways today. We've got a predicted 11 from you, which is what you think Gerard might opt for. And I've got a preferred 11, which is just for fun. I would do if I was in charge. So we'll start with the predicted 11 first, because I think that makes sense. This is what you think Gerard could do against Everton tomorrow. Do you want to talk us through it?
Yeah, I think I'll keep the same back four. I think he'll look for a reaction from them after the Bournemouth bit of a debacle down there. Didn't defend well at all. So come on then. Prove your worth here. In the midfield, I've gone for Luiz ahead of Ramsey. I think Luiz works well with Coutinho better in terms of passing and finding him quicker. Ramsey's more of a runner, isn't he? And I think positionally, Luiz is better than Ramsey in that midfield 3. And then I think I was going to originally start of the week. I said he might go 2 up front with Ings and Watkins, but looking at it now, I think Coutinho's a starter for him. We know that. Gerard backs him to the hilt. I think he might throw Buendia in tomorrow and go with 2 10s behind the Watkins. Gerard spoke really well of Watkins in his presser. So that edged me towards Watkins coming back in. He's had a strong week. And I think he might lead the line tomorrow with Ings maybe coming off the bench, or maybe Archer. I'd like to see a bit more of Archer as well. So I've gone with 2 10s behind the Watkins, which is Buendia and Coutinho on the same pitch. I know it hasn't worked for large parts last season, and he left more questions than answers. But tomorrow, I think that's the way Villa might go.
Off the back of that, I think from Bournemouth, I think there has to be at least one change. Watkins for Ings. I don't think Ings as a lone forward doesn't really make sense. So at least one change for Watkins. I'd like to see at least 2 with Ramsey for Luiz as well. I think that makes sense. And you could argue Konsa for Chambers or Mings as a 3. Keep the system, but change those 3. I think you could argue all 3. Certainly has to be at least Watkins, I think. If we start with the same team and the same system tomorrow, Ings up front on his own and Ramsey in there who's not done well, are asking for trouble, I think, because we're going to be expected to try and break Everton down. They'll be happy to let us have the ball, have possession, and just sit there and counter-attack. So it's the onus is on us as the home side. The early kick-off in the sun to go there and put them to the sword. Yeah. If we start with Ings up front on his own, we won't do that. So Watkins has to be at least the one change for me. I like Watkins. I said in the pre-season preview, I thought he would get minutes throughout the season, would start games. I'd back him to be top scorer over Watkins, but not as a lone striker. I think he's got to play with someone, or at least have the 2 number 10s in your system close to him. There's no point having wide men who just isolate him, because it's not going to work. I've put together a preferred 11, which I'm looking at it now on the little graphic down there, and it's never going to happen, the side I've picked, but I wanted to go a little bit rogue. I'll put it up first and then talk through my options afterwards. So I've got Martinez, Dean, Cash, Carlos and Mings.
Tyrone,
Kamara, McGinn and Luiz, the same 3 as you. And then I've got Buendia behind
I love that.
Watkins
and
Archer.
I love it.
It's never going to happen, is it? Because when Villa posted that update earlier of, Buendia's fit and ready to go, he's match fit, he's trained all week, I thought, that's all well and good, but Gerard won't pick it, will he? Because he's not picked Buendia for ages to start on his own like that. You might play in the 2 that you've picked with Coutinho, but he won't swap Coutinho for Buendia, I don't think. I think Coutinho starts every single game at the moment. So that won't happen.
I like that 3, though. I like that.
Archer up front, I also don't think that will happen. If there is going to be 2 up front, it would be Watkins and Ings. I think the midfield's fine. I agree with you. I think Luiz in there for Ramsey makes sense. Be that number 8 and then sign a contract on Monday or whatever. That'd be a nice little fairy tale there. Do something good on Saturday, sign the contract.
Yeah.
Then in the back, I like Mings and Carlos. I think that would be the first choice for me. I thought Chambers has been good in pre-season and is a fair shout. Consart, I'm not too sure. I think we said last week, like, he should have been out for longer than he was. Comes back early, plays like 2 games in pre-season, and then starts against Bournemouth and we lose. So him being dropped wouldn't surprise me at all. Mings going back in though would be a surprise. I think that's twofold in the terms that he's still maybe got a bit of an injury if he's only trying for a couple of days. So is he going to come straight back in? Probably not. And also, I just think the bit of the fanfare from last week in terms of the comments and stuff, to then bring him straight back in also doesn't really work.
No.
Because Gerrard's got to stand by what he said last week. If he's fit enough and ready, he'll start. So if he's only trying 2 days this week, is he fit enough and ready? Probably not. So if he starts from this week, that would go against what he said last week.
Yeah.
But if I was picking like my perfect 11, I would like to see that. I think that would potentially score some goals. Buendia in behind Archer and Watkins, but it's never going to happen. If our 2 teams played each other, who would win?
I quite like yours, to be fair. Archer and Watkins and Buendia. Oh, yeah. Got goals
it's a nice little trio, isn't it, on paper?
Yeah.
But as we all know, football is not played on paper, it's played on grass.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what people think in the comments if they're watching this either live on YouTube now or watching it before the kick-off tomorrow. Obviously, it's an early kick-off, so if you are going to watch this preview, you need to get it in ASAP. I'm intrigued to see what people think. Coutinho will play, I think. So if it is going to be Coutinho and Buendia, it'll be the system you picked. But there's a lot of talk about Everton playing a back 3.
Yeah,
with,
there is.
Cody in there, so 1 striker against 3 centre-halves. It makes sense to play the 2 up there, I think. Watkins and Ings probably.
Yeah.
Get a bit of energy up there. How do you think the weather will affect things?
Yeah,
it's going to be 33 degrees tomorrow in Birmingham, I think. Peak midday heat. Is that going to affect things? There'll be water breaks, I would imagine. It's kind of sapped the energy. I only walked down to the shop before and I thought I would lie down. So no way I'll be running around in this.
Yeah, there won't be a fast start to it tomorrow and then it'll soon go down a notch. I think we could see all 10 subs being used tomorrow, 5 from both teams.
Yeah.
A lot of changes. And as you see with Brentford, Leicester last week, I think Leicester were cruising. Brentford used all the subs and got themselves back into the game. So we'll see. We'll see. I think the boys on the bench tomorrow need to be ready to come on and try and affect the game in a positive way. So it'll be very hot down there tomorrow, very stuffy. But hopefully it's a good day and we're all smiling afterwards, Dan, as you walk off into the sunshine. So fingers crossed,
Talking of running around in this heat, obviously we're doing our half marathon. Nice little graphic on screen now. Just put the link in the comments if you do want to donate to us or running the half marathon next year. Pat texted me yesterday. He went for a run at like 1 o'clock. He said it was 30 degrees and he was like, I was dying for the last kilometre. I was like, what, are you mental? I know you've got to like get your training in and like get yourself ready, but going in this heat's silly. I went this morning. I did 2 miles at 7:30 in the morning and that was hot.
Warm,
so if he went yesterday, that's mental. You did one this morning as well, didn't you?
5 o'clock, it was still warm. It's mad guys in Sutton Park and like in between the bushes where it's covered, it's like a radiator you're running through. And then when it goes into open, it's cool. Like obviously it's 5:30 in the morning. But slowly getting the miles in and then half marathon next May. So plenty of time. Build up the fitness. Any tips, please? Those that run often, let me know in the comments because a bit of a novice runner. Only took it up in lockdown, Dan. Try and keep the dad bod off kind of thing. And so looking forward to next summer. Should be really good. And I'm glad you guys are with us as well. So all mucking in and we'll get it done, won't we?
Yeah, already raised a decent amount of money as well. I'm not going to keep hammering it every single episode we do because it's 9 months away. But I thought because we mentioned running in the heat, I've got to give Pat a shout out. Fair play to him for doing that. Yeah, although it is mental. Prediction time then. Let's end this preview with our score predictions. Now I said I was going to be tracking our score predictions this season. Do you remember what you said last week?
3-0. Then 3-0 Villa.
3-0 Villa. You said. I said 2-1 Villa. I said I will definitely concede, but I still thought we'd win. Did I? Sorry, no. There we go. The actual result, obviously 2-0. So I've got it down as correct score. If you get it bang on, you get 3 points.
Yeah.
If you get the correct result, so if you said 2-1 Villa, but we win 2-0, you get 1 point. And if you get nothing, obviously you get 0 points. So far, both of us on 0 points. Nowhere near it. Not even the result right. So this week, Everton, first home game. What's your score prediction? And let's see how many points you're going to get in our big league table.
I'll try a bit of reverse psychology. I'll go 3-0 Everton, which will mean Villa will win 2-0. 3-0 Everton for me, Dan.
Okay, another 3-0 prediction there for you.
3-0 away win, which should mean home win.
Okay, yeah. I like what you're thinking. It's going to look terrible. We'll look back on that and go, why did you predict Everton to win 3-0?
Yeah.
I'll go 1-0 Villa. I think Pat said exactly the same as well. There's a couple of 2-1s in the comments, 2-0, being optimistic, a 1-1. I do feel like it'll probably, Steve Brown has got 0-0 written all over it. I do feel like it might fizzle out into a draw, that maybe we'll go up ahead and they'll fight back off a counter or a set piece or something. It'll be 1-1 in the heat and it'll just kind of fizzle out. Or the reverse will happen. They'll go ahead. It'll all be a bit nervous and we'll nick one back at some point. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 1-1, but I'm going to go 1-0 Villa, get a home win, ease a little bit of the nerves, and then hopefully if we follow that up next week as well, we can all look back on Bournemouth and go, that was just a blip rather than Bournemouth being the norm. We'll call it a day there. Ash, thank you very much for your time this afternoon as always. I think it's me and Matt Kendrick doing the post-match show tomorrow. I think the rough plan will be if it's a home game and me and Matt are there, we'll do the home games. You and me will do the away games. Obviously, we won't have seen the game and you will because you'll have been there. If Villa play away and it's on TV, it might be me and Matt like bang on the full-time whistle like we did it in lockdown rather than waiting for you to do the presser and stuff. We might just
Bolton
on TV and jump on straight away. So Bolton, great example. There's another away game on telly as well. Arsenal away, Wednesday night. So we might do on Wednesday night when we get to games like that. But should be me and Matt. I feel weirdly nervous about the game tomorrow because if we don't win, I feel like it could get a bit messy. But 1-0, 3-0 Everton for you. But reverse psychology, meaning Villa would do get the win in the end. Let's see how it goes. Enjoy it if you get in there. Train strikes. If people didn't know about that, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. So if you are driving, which I assume you are, because you're not going to walk. Driving to Villa Park. Parking's going to be difficult. Get there early, make plenty of time. Hopefully it all goes smoothly and Villa win. Ash, thanks for your time. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the match preview. We'll be back tomorrow, probably 3-4 o'clock, something like that. And hopefully we're talking about an Aston Villa win. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you then. Thank you for listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please do let us know. We love hearing your feedback. We'll be back soon with another episode, but until then, up the Villa.